The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Well, this is an odd day for sure. Nothing seems to want to work right, I'm telling you.
Well, we got everything but me. We got the lights, we've got the desk. Let's see, I'm in that somewhere. Oh, there I am. Well, hello, welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip.
I'm CJ.
And who knows what's going to happen on Monday, right?
We never know anything, I'm telling you.
All right, well, we're off to the races. It's Monday, and again, another week in paradise has begun.
It's another week somewhere, I'll tell you that much.
That's right. And we won the first medal of the Olympics.
There we got it. The camera's finally fixed, and we're all set and ready to go with gusto. I'm telling you, live shows. I mean, I had no headphones. I had nothing. I don't have my notes. This is just getting nutty.
Well,
but the first announcement I think is most important is anyone who may be watching us on your cell phones or at home because you're getting ready to leave and you have a flight out on Delta Airlines. Forget it.
Forget about it. Forget about it.
Delta had a major cluster crash, snafu, and they haven't been able to get their systems back up online. This is like the second time an airline has had this issue occur. I don't know. Maybe we should call Putin. Maybe he's trying to take the.
Yeah. Well, hey, well, look, we're blaming Russia for everything. Yeah. We might as well blame them for this. What the hell?
What the heck, right?
I mean, so yeah. Well, they said expect large scale cancellations are expected. Yes. Yeah, that means you're not getting anywhere.
Exactly.
If you're flying on Delta.
Exactly. You know, this is just. It's funny because when we start looking at this stuff, we go, oh. I have a plane going out, and luckily I had a couple of friends who left late last night for a red-eye out of Logan, and they landed okay at 8:24 this morning. They were going east, they weren't going west. So,
well, you know, we've become far too dependent on these computers. You know, there's no, you know, and that's the problem, and we all have. I mean, as much as I hate...
I've got numerous phone calls from you, Chip, on this damn computer, I'm gonna bust it!
Well, between the computers and the iPhones, and phones, I mean, you know, I hate my phone, but I really can't function without it now. My schedule, everything's on there, and I don't carry my, an appointment book around anymore. Everything's in the phone, and if those things go south on you, you got problems, and the airlines and everything else, and it's kind of scary. They should try to work on some kind of backup system. You know, they should actually have some kind of system they could put into, you know, because if they can't fix the computer, we've shut the world down.
Yeah, I agree, and it gets to be a little confusing at times. But let's move on. You know, our former intern, Nisa Venus, made sure she brought to my attention the fact that Providence canceled the Puerto Rican Festival. And the Hispanic and Puerto Rican community were very upset. And the reason being is you didn't pay your taxes. You didn't pay your fees. And it wasn't a small fee. It's not like $125. No, it's not. It's like $17,000 in fees to the City of Providence. And the fees are supposed to be paid 60 days prior to any event. $14,300 is for past police details. Not even for projected, for past police details. And $2,500 in park fees. And people are upset because Providence said, no, we're not going to give you the permits and you can't have it. Well,
kudos to the mayor of Providence. I'm sure he's not going to get a lot of Puerto Rican votes in the next election, but it's about time there are consequences for something when the government, when, it's about time government actually held somebody accountable. I'd like them to hold themselves accountable more often, but at
Are
least
you living in a fantasy world?
Yeah, I am. I'm delusionary. I still believe in what's right is right, regardless of who's right or who's wrong. But it's refreshing to see something like this, because this is a major voting bloc in the city of Providence. I mean, and it's not only the Puerto Ricans. I mean, like you said, Hispanics in general will not be happy because, of course, it won't be the fact that they didn't pay their bills. It will be that they're being persecuted or something, that they're being picked on because they're a specific ethnic group, which is bull. But having consequences for actions segues me into something I've been said numerous times. I'd like to see somebody pass a ordinance that in the city of Fall River you can't hold any board position, appointed position, unless you are fully paid in all your taxes and fees. Because we had numerous people, and we still have numerous people on various boards in this city who were severely in arrears of their property taxes and other things. I mean, all we got to do is look at the infamous and never ever brought to resolution case of the 22 windows in City Hall. That contractor owed the city almost $1 million, and he still put in the windows. We have people who, for some reason, they say, oh, well, they owe us taxes, but we'll let them work it off. Really? If you don't fit and you're not friendly with the powers to be, do you think they'll let you work off your debt? And I thought that went out in the colonial period when they used to have indentured servants. You could come over from the old country and work for so many years until you worked off your debt. Then you could go out and settle the West. But it's nice to see. It's nice to see actually that they're holding somebody accountable. And every so often we see an article in our local newspaper about how much is owed in back property taxes, and every once in a while we see an article about an individual who owes thousands and thousands of dollars in various fees. And it's a disservice to the people who pay their taxes.
Well, it's also very interesting because I'm sure you've been following it. I know I have. The I-Team out of JAR Channel 10 has been doing an investigation into the assessor in Swansea, Attleboro, and a few other towns where they're full-time employees in each of them, but they're listed as consultants in order so they can get, this one guy can have multiple positions. Sounds like Mary Sahadi.
And a few others.
And a few others, okay? And they're trying to, circle the wagons now because they're looking at the timesheets and he's like punching out in Attleboro at 2, but punching in Swansea at 2. Does he have a transporter? Does he travel at warp speed? I mean, are they beaming him from one place to the other?
Could be.
And this is the problem. And, I may have the time incorrect, but you're getting the message here. It's time that you wake up. And through the weekend flush, I brought up the fact that you may not like the fact that your political candidate or your elected official is under scrutiny. But it's that scrutiny that keeps our country, our city, our state safe. And we look at this, and we look at everything. There's nothing that's off limits. Your campaign finance report's late, we want to know why. You're not reporting things that you did, we want to know why. We want to know why when there's money missing, nobody knows where it is. And this city, 2 years ago, not even 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, was demanding a forensic audit. Demanding it. We want a forensic audit of our books. We have to have an audit of our books. We have to have it now. and we have to have it right away because we want to know where our money's going. On December 16th, 2014, a day
That's still live in infamy.
that there's another day that's going to live in infamy. We removed the mayor. And then Sam Sutter came in. And again you were screaming, we need a forensic audit. We need it now. We need a forensic audit. Sam said, no, that's criminal. And we told you how many times that it wasn't. Now, the petitions have gone out. People are starting to collect signatures. People are asking about it. And the same people who were demanding a forensic audit, I said, you're not going to get the signatures necessary. It's not going to happen because we don't need it anymore because Jazel's in office. I don't care if God himself is sitting on the 6th floor. A forensic audit doesn't mean that the person is criminal. A forensic audit doesn't mean that the city council's criminal. A forensic audit doesn't mean the school committee's criminal. A forensic audit means we're going to look at where every dime is going and every dime has gone and who's doing what with what.
And if it's done within the spirit of the law, that's the thing about the forensic audit. That's the reason that Sutter didn't want a forensic audit because, you know something, we really didn't need a forensic audit when he took over because he brought Alan Silver back.
Right.
And Alan Silver looked at the numbers, and I saw those numbers because I sat down for over 2 hours with Alan when he first came back, and I remember the statement he made to me on how screwed up the city's finances were, and he laid out what had to be done. The problem is that when Sam Sutter looked at what he had to do, he said, hell no, I'm not doing that. I'll never get reelected. Well, he didn't get reelected anyway. He got booted out. So the fact is that the numbers were so bad, and it would have necessitated actual cuts, meaningful cuts, not laying off the workers and hiring your friends and saying, oh, it's a wash. You see, I saved money because I laid off 3 workers and hired my buddy. No, it would have meant some real hard choices for the mayor. But, to get back to that thing about we don't need a forensic audit, I said we need one for a long time. I'm not one of the individuals who's circulating the petitions, but if you're looking for anybody to sign it, I'll sign it because we do need it. But the fact is, even if you do have a forensic audit, what good's it going to do if there's never any accountability or consequences for illegal actions? A couple shows ago, we read a letter from the city auditor that said there was employee money in the employer account, and they were going to pay us back from the general fund. Now, this is what a forensic audit flags. That's illegal. The law clearly states that that money, employee money, that the city, it's not tax money. It's not money that we gave the city. It's money that was taken out of the paychecks
illegally
and the retirement checks of city employees, and it's supposed to be held in trust or escrow, depending on what form, but it's supposed to be there. It's a convenience for the city and for the employees that you don't have to write a check every month or something and they send you a bill. So they set a premium at the beginning of the year, and then it's taken out of your check, but it's supposed to be held by law in a separate account. That's 32B. A segregated account. And back in our arbitration in 91, the arbitrator made it clear that they commingled money. They're still commingling money. And then the people go, oh, it's a mistake. Well, it's a mistake that's been made for 25 years. And then when you complain about your increases in taxes, your increases in fees, not only are they spending every single dime, they're mismanaging your money. They're not collecting back taxes. So who do you think pays? How many ways are they going to screw everybody in this city before you do wake up And I don't care whether you like somebody personally or not. If you're not doing the job, like the auto mechanic, I don't care if the auto mechanic, if he can't fix my car, I'm not going to take my car to him anymore. If he lives next door to me, I might go to his cookout. But the fact is, who do you think is paying for all this mismanagement? You are. With all this continued, every year the taxes go up, every year the fees go up, yet we've got millions of dollars in uncollected fees, and we've got money mismanaged. We lose money. We go to court on things that we should have never gone to court in the first place. All this money. We give out TIFs, and we explain that on one of our shows. You're paying for that, because that goes into how much a tax base we have. When somebody's not paying taxes, the taxes they should be paying are still there. And guess who's paying them? We are. So if you don't think there's consequences for this mismanagement, and as long as your guy is the guy doing the mismanagement, it's okay. Because he's my guy, and I can give him a call. Or he got my cousin a job. Or he gave somebody I know a job. Or I want him to back me in the next election. Well, you know, it makes you a political hack, whether you like it or not, you know. I mean, I had as many people that didn't like me when I ran a union as liked me, but they kept electing me. You know why? Because even though they disliked it sometime, I never allowed anything to enter into anything that we did except the fact. When somebody filed a grievance, I didn't care whose name was on that grievance. It was whether that grievance was a true violation, and if it did, we fought it for everybody just as hard. It was a violation of the contract, a violation of law. We fought. Why did we fight? Because the city was wrong. It didn't make any difference whether that guy was the most disliked or most liked person on a department. What mattered was what the issue was. And in fact, if he was correct. So if somebody everybody liked and was my best friend filed a grievance that was bullshit, I would tell them this is bullshit. We're not going to win this grievance. You can't process it. This grievance has no basis, has no foundation. There's no violation. Tough luck. And conversely, if somebody I disliked or who everybody in a department disliked filed a grievance and he was 100% right, it got filed and it got fought, and it got fought hard. And I had a lot of people pissed because of that. I'd go in the morning, be at coffee, what are you spending the union's money on that guy? He's an idiot. Well, no, unfortunately, you think he's an idiot, but that idiot was right today. And when it comes to running a government or running a union, and realistically in life, it should be whether you're right or wrong. It doesn't affect you personally. You've got to be able to compartmentalize things. Your personal feelings for somebody. You can like somebody and disagree with their political philosophies. I have a lot of people that are friends of mine that I have absolutely, we don't agree on anything philosophically or politically. But we have similar likes and dislikes, and we enjoy each other's company, and we go out. What do? We watch the fights, we grab something to drink, and you know, we'll go out and we'll do something, and we have some things in common, and personality-wise we get along. But it's like people say, you should never discuss politics or religion. That's a fact, but the reason you shouldn't discuss that is because if you're not smart enough to realize that you have to separate that, and it's not personal. I don't dislike Jazel. I didn't dislike Sam Sutter. I didn't dislike a lot of mayors. But the fact is, once they start doing something wrong, they're getting called on it by CJ and by me. The fact is that it's nothing personal. The fact is that, you know, look at these hires. Look at the way the money's being spent. Look at what's going on. Look at the lack of consequences. Look at the things look at our shows and listen to what we say. And rather than make it a personal issue, do what we used to do when we read a grievance. cover the name and read the issue. Look at the facts. Look at what the truth is. And as we said many times, the truth does not take sides. And the truth never fears investigation. And if the mayor's right, he's right. And if he's wrong, he's wrong. And that's the end of it. And this last hire was super wrong. And that's just one of many.
No question about it. And as we said, I'm waiting for the next shoe to drop on the replacement for Ken Pacheco. Who's going to be the next political hack?
Oh yeah, I can't wait for the rest of the other lottery.
Yeah.
You know, when Davy Sullivan, beats feet and Kathy slides over to, then we're gonna have another lottery.
Yeah.
Let's make a deal. The big wheel's gonna spin.
Exactly. Honestly, Monty Hall needs to run this city because it seems to be the way it's going.
Sounds like a good candidate.
Yeah, it's true. It's interesting just to see how this gets to be so convoluted and so crazy. But you were talking about spending of money. I got my water bill. How many people out there got their water bill? Did you get your water bill recently?
I haven't got mine yet.
You haven't got yours yet?
No.
Make sure you got some cardiac meds around, okay? Remember how they always say, it's only going to result in 37 cents. It's only going to be 37 cents. I love the way they always do it. It's going to be 37 cents. My water bill came in at $300. $300 for a 3-tenement house for water and sewer, yeah. And I took the hit mostly on the sewer fee. And why? Because there's a certain department head who can't keep up with the EPA regulations and couldn't see that he had to upgrade the wastewater treatment plant's incinerator for the sludge. And now we gotta truck it out of Fall River. So as we said in the previous episode, we not only crap all over the citizens here, we crap all over everybody.
Right, we ship it everywhere. And we'll never fix it. That's the thing.
That's the problem, yeah.
We'll never fix the problem in Fall River.
And if you want proof of that, because remember, those who fail to remember history are destined to repeat it. Go look at Lewiston Street. That used to be an incinerator where we burned our trash, which cut down on dumping fees, which cut down on transportation costs. But we never upgraded that equipment, and now we can't put one in.
Yeah, well, let's look at the history of this. We didn't put in for a grant, so we're getting killed on the CSO. Okay?
That's right.
Now,
because again, we don't hold the person
and we're
accountable.
one of the out of the 351 cities and towns. We're one of the maybe the only or one of the few that pay to get rid of their recycles, don't make money on their recyclables. Right. So, but who cares? Why should we ever investigate why the other 349 or 348 or 350 cities managed to make money on recyclables and we have to pay? And now, again, because we don't comply with regulations, we're trucking things out. But are we ever going to fix the problem? No, because guess what? They don't care.
How about the fact...
They don't care in government center.
Right.
Screw it. They're paying for it, and we'll just keep trucking it. And guess what? We'll find somebody.
Screw you, taxpayer.
Yeah, and we'll get somebody we'll get somebody in the business of hauling the stuff, and we'll get one of our friends and make them a millionaire trucking the stuff out of here rather than fixing the problem. This is Fall River. We never fix anything. Did we ever fix the health care plan?
Nope.
No. We're still putting money in the wrong place. Did we ever fix the water department? Forget it. I mean, that water department. And let's track his pay raises over the last 20 years. In the time he didn't file for a grant because he was on vacation, actually said he couldn't keep up with the changes in well, you're a department head. And we've said it time and time again. If the fire chief goes in front of the city council and says, I can't keep up with the changes in the fire codes, he should be fired.
That's right.
If the police chief says, well, I'm sorry, I can't keep up with the changes in the laws, well, you should be fired because that's your job. Your job is, and you take an oath well, especially police and fire. I'm not sure if the water department swears an oath, but they should, to uphold, and because they enforce, they're actually law enforcement agencies. Firefighters have to, enforce the fire codes and Chapter 148 and also, the CMRs and stuff like that. With the, they have enforcement authority. So obviously, if you don't keep up with the laws you're enforcing, you're not doing your job. And if you run a water department and it's your job to comply with EPA regulations and you can't keep up with them, guess what? You shouldn't be getting a paycheck. It's that simple.
But I looked at this bill and I said, I've been doing everything possible not to lower the rents of my tenants. Okay? I've done everything possible to save money for myself, for my tenants, and for my property. I even hired a private contractor when they wanted $10 more from me. And I still won't buy the purple bag, so I still keep my private contractor. Because guess what? I'm tired of driving up and down Warren Street and up and down 2nd Street and up and down Plymouth Avenue, and I see white bags, green bags, yellow bags, every other bag but purple bags. And I don't hear about anyone getting tickets. How effective is this, Mr. Mayor? Mr. I'm going to enforce this, because let me tell you something. There's a house I've driven by 5 times since you put this program into effect, and they're still using city trash.
Well, I don't know.
I wonder where your effective enforcement's coming from.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm going to actually ask today. Now I have something else to ask for. I'm going to ask under 6610 for a breakdown of all the fines received by the city of Fall River and all the citations that were thrown out by the court, because that's going to be your stats. Because you said this program is necessary. Do you know why you say this program is necessary, Mr. Mayor? Because it's $3 million that you hope to get. Because without it, your budget is totally kaflooey. Okay? And let me tell you something. You're not going to tell me you got 2.1. You're not going to tell me you have a 90% compliance like you're saying now. Because I'll tell you right now, I can take a drive around Fall River any day of the week. And I'll tell you right off the bat, I'll find at least 50% of the recycle bins have at least one non-purple bag, which means they're non-compliant. And don't give me this crap, the Ken Pacheco crap of, well, they're partially compliant. You either are compliant or you're not compliant. So in other words, if I go in and rob a bank, but I only walk away with half the money in the drawer, I'm only partially a thief?
Yeah, you're a partial thief.
Yeah, that's.
But there's some serious problems with this pickup. I've gone down a couple streets because I normally take the same routes. You shouldn't,
right,
because a sniper could get me. But the fact is that I take the same routes when I go to certain places like that. I've seen barrels out for a week.
Yeah.
Apparently they missed the day, or they confused the day, or those people didn't pick up on the day. But there's one 3-decker I went by that's got 5 barrels out there, filled to the top, recycles and regular trash, that weren't picked up on their trash day last week. I don't know whether they got them out late, or they put them out the wrong day, or they didn't pick, or those people didn't go by, or whatever. But they've been out there for a week. They haven't moved. They're leaving them out till this week's day, and nothing's happened. They didn't even bring them in. They weren't picked up. Nobody went by.
That's almost as bad as the old DCM, where they leave yard waste out there for 4 weeks, 5 weeks.
Yeah, but I mean, so there's all kinds of problems if they want to make it like this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. But unfortunately, look, there are going to be bugs, but let's not mislead the public. And remember, public, every time they waste money, they get it by dipping into your wallet. So stay angry.
Stay angry, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Have a great day.